Well, I hope you enjoyed AJ's movie reviews on Friday and the nearly hour-long Halloween Horror Nights speculation video on Saturday, as well as yesterday's new Versus, which was My Girl and Now and Then. So it's now Monday, and of course, Monday now seems to mean, I don't know if this is going to be permanent, but at least for the last couple of weeks, that we're going to delve ourselves into NXT and Smackdown. So we're back to putting them on the same video. Sounds like a great idea, right? Obviously, it's hard to do things any other way. I would have done this video Saturday, but obviously Saturday we got a lot of Halloween Horror Nights news over the last several days, and I wanted to get a video out. And I wasn't anticipating I would be talking for about an hour, but I did, and thank you to all of you out there that stuck through that entire hour and listened to everything I had to say. Very much appreciated. So, I do want to say that tonight, obviously, Raw is going to be over in the UK, and I'm sure there are some of you that are watching this video at this moment that may have already seen the results of the Raw broadcast that's going to end up here in the US tonight. Well, obviously, we're not going to talk about anything that way because I'll shoot with you guys. It's 11 o'clock on Sunday night. And the reason why I'm doing this early instead of late is because, number one, I kind of rushed through last week's video at the very last minute. Like I said, I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning. I thought I could finish everything I need to do and then do the video. Well, I basically cut it this close, so it was a short video, and I apologize for that numerous times. And I made it up to you guys with the Raw recap, which was a lot better and a lot more notes. Without going any further into detail, this hasn't been the greatest of days. And obviously, you know me well enough by now, you should, after over 600 videos, almost 700 videos, that I'm not really in the mood to talk about it. So, let's just say I wanted to clear my head by doing a video tonight. And like I said, another reason why it's tonight is because I have to work today. So, because I have to work today, I don't want to get up early and rush through a video, because I've already watched NXT and Smackdown. I got my notes right here. I know what you're saying. Oh, and there's only 2 pages. That's 4 pages front and back. And I was like, yeah, I have a new way of doing Smackdown recaps that I'm not exactly sure I like yet, because try to read this, seriously. You probably can't. I barely can. Good luck if you can. But trying to read this, and then you see how I do Smackdown now, which is like this. Look how crazy that is. Seriously, it's like the match, and then it's like gibberish that I barely can read. That's the reason why sometimes I'm like, what does that say? Yeah, it's a lot more coherent when I do something that's live, because obviously I don't have anything telling me what the results are. I know I could technically cheat on Raw tonight, but I'm not going to. I want to get an idea of the live experience, and I'll probably have like 3 pages of notes, which basically means 3 pages front and back, so I'm thinking that'll probably end up happening tonight. Just kind of depends. Usually Raw recaps are a lot less disjointed than SmackDown ones are. Well, let's talk NXT to start us off. And of course, we're on the road to TakeOver. And TakeOver is going to be on May 29th. And of course, we have Payback, the WWE special event. There, I said it right the first time. On June 1st. So, nice weekend for WWE as a company. The NXT, I like to call them free previews, which technically it's not the same thing, because if you're paying for the WWE Network, you're still paying for it, but still, it's another story altogether. A 2-hour NXT broadcast instead of an hour, so a 2-hour special broadcast. It's going to end with a main event of Adrian Neville defending the NXT Championship against the winner of the 3-way dance in the main event of the show I'm about to discuss. Yes, I usually would have given that away, but I didn't this time, so kudos to me, I'm learning. So, we start off the show with the Ascension. For 225 days, at least via their taping schedule, Connor and Victor have been NXT Tag Team Champions. They've been unstoppable and unbeatable. As a matter of fact, no one has even come close. They've gone through the Wolves when they went through They were basically called the Wolves at one point, and I believe they called them the American Pit Bulls when they did their NXT run. And they also went through Too Cool, that was on NXT Arrival, which was the last NXT 2-hour event. So they faced any and all comers, and in this match, basically it was a squash against two newcomers to the roster in Buddy Murphy and Elias Sampson. So yeah, this match was short, straight and to the point. Elias ends up getting knocked off the ring apron by Victor, and then they nail the Fall of Man, and they get the 3 off of it. Connor grabs the mic and says, you know, we've laid waste to every single tag team in NXT universe, and we want some competition. Victor says, now bring us somebody to destroy. So here comes a very unique team. It's the team of El Local and Kalisto, who basically debuted on NXT last week. And of course, Local's on the mic because Kalisto barely talks. And that's part of a gimmick, it works for him. Since obviously you're utilizing who El Local really is, you know he's going to be the mic worker of the group. And that's exactly what happens. He says he doesn't like the fact that basically they're being underestimated. He says they've beaten every team, haven't beaten us yet. We're going to make a challenge to you. Accept it, and you'll hear, and he starts to get the lucha, lucha chant started, but the crowd in Full Sail doesn't really bite on it yet. I think it'll happen soon. But then again, you also have to play up on the fact that, for all intents and purposes, the Ascension are baby faces in Full Sail. Obviously, they'd probably be heels when they come up to the WWE roster, but for sake of argument, they are baby faces at Full Sail. There are a lot of talent that are technically baby faces at Full Sail. Tyler Breeze is a baby face at Full Sail, but if you go to a live event, Tyler Breeze would probably be played off as a heel. It makes perfect sense to me. But we'll talk about Tyler Breeze later on. So, basically, it ends with one more final statement that said, amigos, catch us if you can, and then the lucha, lucha, lucha. So, it is officially announced for NXT TakeOver with the NXT Tag Team Championships on the line. Connor and Victor, the Ascension, defending against El Local and Kalisto, who have yet to be named as a tag team. So we get our first of 3 interview segments with the 3 combatants in the main event for the #1 contendership to Adrian Neville's NXT Championship. And it comes in the form of Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn says he's a tad bit obsessive when it comes to things that he really wants. As a matter of fact, he really wanted to get Cesaro's respect, and he gained that. And he really wanted to take the championship away from Bo Dallas, and unfortunately he dropped the ball. He was not able to do so. But he still has that hunger, he still has that fight, and he still has the determination to take the championship now off current champion Adrian Neville. He's here to redeem himself for not being able to get the job done against Bo Dallas. He says any chance he has, he's going to take it. So before the next match, we get an announcement, of course, that Tyler Breeze has entered the building. So our next contest is our first of 2 semi-final matches in the NXT Women's Championship Tournament. And the next one will be on NXT this coming Thursday night, which will be the matchup between Natalya and the Boss, Sasha Banks. The winner of that match faces the winner of this match, the newcomer, the pixie-like and very adorable Alexa Bliss, taking on the woman in charge of NXT, and that would be Charlotte of the Beautiful Fierce Females. They're really intent on pushing Charlotte, and I say there's no reason Charlotte doesn't walk out with the championship. I think that's probably the direction I would go, actually. I wouldn't mind seeing these two in the ring again, because this match was pretty good for what it was. And right early on in the match, Charlotte almost gets caught with the same maneuver that got Alexa Bliss this match, and that is the satellite into the small package, which I like to call Pixie Hollow. And sure enough, she kicks out. So let's talk about this match. The abdominal stretch is applied on Alexa Bliss. It gets countered into a schoolgirl roll-up, 1 count only. A forearm, and then a leaping boot, and another leaping boot, picked up, and turns it around into a sunset flip on Charlotte. Only got a 1 out of it. Ducks the clothesline, catches the crossbody into a backbreaker, and gets a 2 count off of that on Alexa Bliss. So she bends her over her knee, like so. and basically drops her over and over again, the small of the back into the kneecap of Charlotte. So she tries to punch her way out, and she does succeed in doing so. And a straight knee drops Alexa Bliss, because don't forget, obviously, Charlotte has the height advantage in this match, so anything she would do would have a little bit more power than something Alexa Bliss would do in this case. Obviously, it's power versus speed. It's the normal David and Goliath situation. But, yes, obviously, not in that exact manner. So she chokes her on the middle rope. No interference from Sasha Banks in this match. She just basically stands solitary on the floor. Excuse me. And whip in, and she picks her up, and a backbreaker yet again, and she plants Alexa Bliss with the bow down to the queen, which is the standing diamond dust, and gets the 3 off of that. Nice showing from Alexa Bliss, and a sign of things to come that she's going to be a force in the NXT women's division once we solidify Charlotte as the new champion. Obviously, Charlotte will probably have a rematch with Natalya, and we'll play that up, and probably Charlotte will work with Bayley, and eventually she may end up working with Becky Lynch, who is still one of the Rosebuds at this point. And I do think that Charlotte will end up working with Alexa Bliss, and I have no issues with that, because Alexa Bliss actually showed a nice little personality in the last 2 matches she had on NXT television. But speaking of somebody who doesn't have personality, and that is Mojo Rawley. And I know what you're saying, oh, and he has way too much personality. Yeah, the man who lives on energy drinks. He is still not in my good graces as a wrestling recapper. And he's facing off against somebody I do like, and that is the artiste, Aiden English. And this match goes real quick. Really quick. There's a knee strike, and Aiden sends him face first to the top turnbuckle. Mojo gets stopped, and whip in reverse, charges in, gets the back elbow up. Clothesline drops Mojo, and a DDT gets a 2 count off of that. Big scoop slam, charges in, gets the boot up, and a shoulder in, clothesline, and 2 splashes in the corner by Mojo, and he hits the hip check, and the hyperdrive finishes off the artiste for the 3 count. I don't know what it is, but I'm not sold on Mojo Rawley. I don't like him at all, especially when he's working with guys that are so much better than him. At least that's what I can see. I mean, I think that Mojo doesn't really have an upside. I mean, he's over with the kids, but then again, so is Dave Sullivan in WCW when he did the EVOD gimmick and he came out with the Pet Bunny Ralph. Yes, I went WCW on you guys, and you know exactly what I talk about if you watch WCW on the WWE Network. There's my cheap plug. WWE can give me like $5 or something, like a gift card for the WWE shop for putting them over. Like they need it anyway. So yeah, this match, I would have given it a little bit more time. Mojo still doesn't have a rivalry yet. I don't know if this is going to be pushed or this is just going to be a one-off. It seems to me like there could be a rivalry with CJ Parker, but it also seems like they're going to push CJ Parker towards something else, and I'll talk about that in the next segment, actually. I really wish they'd do more with Aiden English. Had a great match with Sheamus a couple months ago, and I really like to see them do more stuff with him. So hopefully they will, once everything is... Basically, this is like a rebuilding for NXT right now, trying to see who's going to be cornerstone of the television program, the stuff that's on NXT. Now, the people that are on the network, they're trying to see what works and what doesn't. So they're trying to see what talent gets over. No Corey Graves this week, so yeah. Well, we'll talk about him later on. So, we get our next match, Angelo Dawkins. And Angelo Dawkins is in action against Big Cass. So Colin Cassidy in the ring. Still no Enzo Amore yet. And hopefully he'll be returning to action soon. He had a terrible injury, and he's convalescing slowly but surely. He will be able to return to the ring soon. And once he does, I think this will be an awesome team to go with. So, in the middle of this match, CJ Parker comes out, and he's got a sign. And it says, NXT, no extra toxins. Obviously, he's playing up the fact that what he is, an environmentalist, a crazy environmentalist. And the sign on the back says, this sign is recyclable. And let's talk about what of this match. There's a big slam, and drops the elbow 3 times, does Big Cass. Slays him face first the top turnbuckle, a gut shot whip in, and gets the elbow, only gets a 2 off of that. Slams Dawkins yet again, and a leaping elbow off the ropes, still gets a 2 count. Whip in, charges in, and Dawkins gets the elbow up and gets caught with the snap jabs. A drop kick off the ropes, and gets stopped with a high knee. Any momentum he had, snuffed out just that quick. And SAWFT, soft, big boot, and the East River Crossing. The body slam into the swinging layout, Uranagi finishes it, or the side effect, depending on who's calling your match, finishes the match. So, are we getting a feud between Big Cass and CJ Parker? I think that'll eventually happen. I think CJ Parker either interrupts someone else next week, or if he interrupts Big Cass again, I think eventually Cass is going to get fed up, and he's like, what's up? You got a problem with me? And stuff like that. And yeah, I sound really convincing tough, don't I? So yeah, I think what we're getting right now is another feud for CJP after his very one-sided feud with Mojo Rawley, which did not go anywhere. I think the feud with Big Cass actually might go somewhere, and hopefully they do something with CJ Parker, because I think he's got the charisma to carry something. I'm not exactly sure what it is yet, but something. Just something. I think he has a reason to be in the company. A lot more so than some people do. So, we get Bo Dallas talking in the back to JBL. Obviously, JBL's in charge, so he has to hand JBL some documents. And JBL asks what they are, and he basically says that his Bo Leavers have been demanding that he gets another shot at the championship. And he told him on this hotline, let me guess, 1-900-999-9900? Yeah, I think Mean Gene's not using that anymore. So, you don't want letters pouring in your office, do you? And he says, you know what? How about I hand these over to CJ Parker so we can get these letters recycled? He's like, you know what? You had your shot. You had your opportunity. I gave you a shot in the Battle Royal last week, and you lost. So, you know, you're not going to get something for nothing. So how about this? I make you a deal. You beat your opponent. The next time you get in the ring, I'll give you your title shot. But you know what? I'm going to raise the stakes a little bit. How about if you lose, you leave NXT for good? And I'll give you 5 guesses to who your opponent is. Gee, I wonder who it is. He's like, is it John Cena? He's like, no, Michael Wall Street. Ha ha. Yes, making reference to his dad in his WCW gimmick. Kudos to the 15 people that watched the network that got that. You got Big E. And he's like, oh, this is awesome because I'm undefeated against Big E. He's the guy that I beat to win my championship and to run through the gamut of the entire roster and everything. And he's like, you know, that's fantastic. I'm so happy. And he's like, thank you, JBL. I was like, don't forget, if you lose, you're gone. He's like, okay, fine. Thank you. So yeah, we've set up our Bo Dallas must win or else match between Bo Dallas and Big E. And that should be a good match, actually. I very much enjoyed the match where Bo Dallas took the NXT Championship from Big E and ended his reign. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. Obviously, I know what happens with this, but obviously I can't really talk about it because it hasn't happened on television yet. Kind of like I was mentioning Lana back when she was still not really known, and before Rusev came out. Rusev not on the shows this week. Interesting. He'll probably be on Raw tonight, most likely. We get our main event of the evening, and what a main event it was. Sami Zayn, Tyson Kidd, and Tyler Breeze, three-way dance for the #1 contendership at NXT TakeOver. Automatically will get that shot against Adrian Neville. And this match was awesome. I'll tell you right now, the first spot, right when I first started writing. So Sami Zayn goes for an exploder suplex on Tyler Breeze. Tyson Kidd hooks him from behind, and the second he releases the exploder, Tyson German suplexes him out of the corner. All 3 men are down. So Breeze basically knocked loop. He gets go to the floor. So Tyson and Zayn are trading forearms. And a double leg caught him in the sharpshooter, and he tries to get to the ropes, and Tyson Kidd drags him to the middle. So Tyler Breeze lands a super kick to the side of the head, basically Alberto Del Rio's GSK, and he makes a cover 1-2, Tyson kicks out. Tyler Breeze clotheslines Tyson Kidd over the top rope to the floor, charges in, and gets caught exploder suplex into the corner by Sami Zayn, 1-2, and a kick out. He goes for the wrist lock, setting up for the double jump into the Tornado DDT. Wrist lock, and there's the chop, and then the double jump. The second jump is stopped when he gets crotched up on the top. Falls off, makes a cover, does Breeze 1-2, almost steals it right there. Breeze walks into a high kick from Tyson Kidd on the ring apron, and he goes up top, and he gets caught with a forearm from Tyler Breeze. While Breeze is distracted trying to take care of Tyson Kidd, Zayn runs in like a bat out of hell and nails the haluva kick, literally, and Breeze is pretty much out of it. He's done, down and out. You have to cover Tyler Breeze, you're going to win this match. Of course, with the haluva kick, you have the foot that is caught in the top rope. Tyson Kidd utilizes this and dumps Sami Zayn to the floor, goes to the top rope, hits a flying elbow drop, and gets the 3 count, thus becoming the #1 contender to the NXT Championship. So at TakeOver will have the NXT Tag Team Championships on the line. It will be the Ascension defending against LO Cow and Kalisto. You're also going to see the NXT Women's Championship Tournament Final between Charlotte and the winner of the Natalya-Sasha Banks match. Obviously, we're setting up that there could potentially be a battle between the BFFs in the finals. I wouldn't bet on that. Let's just say the odds are not in their favor. We'll just go with that. And Adrian Neville puts the NXT Championship on the line against Tyson Kidd. So yes, it's definitely a rejuvenation time for Tyson Kidd's career, and I think this is his moment, and I think it very well might be his moment. Is he going to walk out with the NXT Championship? I don't think so, but I don't know if this will turn Tyson heel or not. I think Tyson Kidd and Natalya as a heel group would work in WWE. I don't think it works in NXT because we already have Charlotte, so Charlotte's the queen of the heels, so I wouldn't necessarily go that way. But I think Tyson Kidd is straight babyface. And I think it's going to work. So, Tyson Kidd and Adrian Neville having a straight one-on-one matchup at TakeOver on May 29th is going to be pretty awesome. So, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So, talking about what I would recommend on this show. I would say that Charlotte and Alexa Bliss isn't bad. It just worked for me. And the main event, absolutely. Sami Zayn, Tyler Breeze, and Tyson Kidd put on a clinic. And it was awesome. So, that's what I would check out from NXT. Let's talk SmackDown, shall we? This week's SmackDown, of course, the broadcast I had obviously started off with something different, and I actually started off with the first match, which was the WWE Tag Team Champions Jimmy and Jey Uso in a non-title match against Goldust and Cody Rhodes, the Brotherhood. So we go midway through this match, and Cody with a high-velocity whip on Jey, and, excuse me, he tags in Goldust, and he tosses him shoulder first into the ring post. A big right hand drops him, gets a 2 off of it. An arm drag to fight out of it. Goldust catches him with a spine buster, 1-2, and a kick out, tagging to Cody. Knee in, and a right hand by Jey Uso stops Cody momentarily. And then Cody just beats him down like he owes him money and stomps him down in the corner. Locks on a short arm scissor and ends up breaking the hold. Whip in, ducks the right hand, boot in, drop down uppercut, and the boot is caught. Spun around, spin kick, and tagging to Goldust. Whip in, ducks his head down, gets kicked in the chest for his own good measure. Charges in, he low bridges Goldust, and Cody tosses Goldust in the ring, so of course there can't be a tag between the Usos. Tagging to Cody, hot tag Jimmy finally comes in, leaping clothesline, savate kick to the ribs, and the right hand ducks the clothesline, catches Cody off the ropes with a Samoan drop, and the Rikishi special in the corner gets a 2 off of that, ducks the clothesline, counter into Crossroads, he snapmares out of it, ducks the clothesline, and an uppercut, whisper in the wind, and Goldust makes a save before the 3 count could go down, ducks Jay's clothesline, and clotheslines him over the top rope to the floor. Goldust is setting up for the somersault off the ring apron, and ends up getting super kicked off the ring apron for his good measure. Beautiful Disaster connects into the ring on Jimmy, and Jimmy ends up getting almost pinned, but he gets pulled out at 3 before Cody can make the pinfall. So Cody comes in yet again, and he gets nailed with a super kick. They eat the Samoan splash, frog splash style from Jimmy, and that's the end of the match. So the Usos win this fast-paced match to start off SmackDown this week. And Cody, of course, leaves the ring, not with Goldust, but dejected. We're still planting the seeds week after week for the eventual Cody turning on Goldust. And then we're going to have that program probably to get us into SummerSlam, if I had to guess. Maybe Cody and Goldust happens at SummerSlam. I mean, we still have Money in the Bank. Well, first off, we have Payback. Then we have Money in the Bank. Then we have Battleground. Then we have SummerSlam. So there's 4 events coming up. So they could do it at any point. I mean, they could have it happen at Money in the Bank. Maybe Cody wins Money in the Bank, and that could create collusion between the two. But I don't think that happens. I still think at this point that Cesaro is going to win Money in the Bank at this point. I think that'd be the right decision, actually. So yeah, the opening of the show is John Cena coming out, and basically he says right before he gets started that it sucks when bad things happen to good people. And he wanted to wish Daniel Bryan a speedy recovery. He hopes he heals quickly and that he gets back in the ring where he belongs. Then, of course, he has to go into talking about Bray Wyatt and his challenge, presumably for a last man standing match. But he doesn't really understand what the challenge was, because he said last man standing over and over and over again. But, you know, the fact of the matter remains, he doesn't want that. He doesn't want a last man standing match. You know, it takes a tough individual to have a last man standing match. Bray Wyatt's a dangerous man because he can manipulate people into doing his dirty work for him. But John Cena accepts anyway. But that's Payback. What are we going to do tonight? I want to fight tonight. So I'm going to make an open challenge to any member of the Wyatt family. Any member that Bray decides it should be. And you know, Bray, I'm pretty positive that you're not going to pick yourself. Get a Wyatt interruption. We get the Wyatts in the back. Hi, John. You know, you think you know me. You don't know, you know my name, but that's about it. See, I walk with monsters and I sing with spirits. I could be the most dangerous man in the world. Now you accepted. Whomever is the last man standing will conquer all. Whoever loses will be trapped in his own thoughts, thinking what never will be. Make all the jokes you want, funny man. You became so blind. I pity you. But John, I want to thank you for helping me to find the cure to your plague. My cure will take the air from your lungs. You will fall. And then, of course, he sings. And he ends it with Burn. So yes, still building towards John Cena and Bray Wyatt. This time last man standing at Payback. And I see no reason why John Cena is not going to lose this match. Now, granted, that's the reason why I'm not a WWE creative member. But, yeah, Bray Wyatt needs to win this, honestly. He really does. And he's to win it decisively. Like, the last man standing match, here's the thing. You don't have to pin Cena. So Cena's not going to eat a pin. Cena only doesn't have to answer a count of 10. So there's a lot of things you could do to not answer a count of 10. Don't forget, Cactus Jack and Vader had basically a Texas death match, which is pretty much a last man standing match, where Cactus was about to win and Harley Race zapped him with a taser in the back of the kneecap, and he was not able to get to the 10. So we could do a lot of different ways. Obviously, when John Cena faced Wade Barrett, he knocked an entire set of chairs on top of him to make sure he didn't reach the count of 10. John Cena is a very dangerous man in this match, and I think they're going to play that up. And obviously, in the main event tonight, we're going to get John Cena against a member of the Wyatt family, whomever that may be. We get our next match, and the battle between Los Matadores, or as was coined today, that I heard, Los Jabadores, which is hilarious, and three-man band continued. This time El Torito in action against Heath Slater, sporting a ratty black t-shirt with holes in it that Van Hammer wouldn't wear. So, yeah, I went there. Also available on the WWE Network. So, basically, the Matadors toss in the cape. Obviously, the bull sees red. You know what that means. He charges, and he gores Heath when the sun doesn't shine, and he charges in, he gets caught, and eventually they just go a little bit, and Hornswoggle comes in, and he tries to gore him. He gores Heath instead. Heath ends up eating a moonsault, leaping from the top to the top rope, and that's the 3 counts. Yeah, this continues. Torito is awesome as a wrestler. I don't know if I necessarily like this. This is kind of reminding me a bit of a more cohesive version of Hornswoggle's feud with Chavo Guerrero, and I didn't really like that. But it's more believable that El Torito could beat Heath Slater than it is for Hornswoggle to beat Chavo Guerrero, and that's no disrespect, that's just how it works. We get our next match, which is a Divas match. It is a rematch from Raw, which was all over the place. This time, Eva Marie is your special guest referee, making a lot of red-blooded American or non-American men out there, red-blooded men in general, very happy with her choice of referee attire. And it is Natalya and Nikki Bella. This match was short. Jackknife cover ends up countered into a backslide. Natty breaks it with a back bump. Literally, she bumps back. And Natty makes her eat the discus clothesline, gets a 2 off of that. They trade forearms, and then Nikki catches her with the chin breaker. Gets a 2 off of that, whip in, charges in, misses the splash in the corner, and locks her in the La Tapatia, the Mexican surfboard. And Nikki's shoulders are down, but there's no count, obviously. That gets countered, and she sits down for the 3, and Nikki Bella wins. So Natty becomes a sad panda yet again. More stuff that I'm sure we'll have to do with Total Divas. So apparently Dolph Ziggler went on Twitter and said something that Batista was the weak link of Evolution. So we get this promo of Dolph talking to Renee Young in the back, and Batista has been a disappointment since his return. Simply put, he didn't evolve. He's the weak link of Evolution. Don't underestimate me is basically what Dolph says. You'll pay for it. So we get this match, which I would love to have seen a little bit longer, honestly. I would wish this match would have about 5 more minutes at least to get some more into it. I was actually enjoying it for what it was. Batista with a high-velocity whip into the corner on Dolph. High vertical suplex, gets a 2 off of that with the forearm across the face for good measure, just to kind of like, haha. And the chin lock with the body scissors applied. Dolph tries to elbow his way out. He ends up trying to punch his way out. And usually, he jawbreakers his way out, but not this time. Comes off the ropes and kicks him right in the chest. Goes for the exclamation point DDT and gets caught with a huge spine buster from Batista. Sets up for the Batista bomb. He tries to punch his way out. He does so. Grabs Batista and the exclamation point DDT does connect this time. Charges in, goes shoulder first into the ring post. He charges into the corner with a 10 punch. And when Dolph is pounding away, Batista goes, and right between the uprights, low blow right in front of the referee, calls for the disqualification. So Dolph Ziggler wins yet again, this time via DQ. He lays out Dolph with the Batista bomb. He goes to leave, has a change of heart, and wants to make Dolph pay for it. Tosses him to the outside and rams him hard into the barricade via a whip and finishes him off with a power bomb across the barricade. So Batista basically made Dolph Ziggler pay for his words. I like Batista's heel beard. It works for me. So, yeah, Dolph Ziggler has stepping it up, and hopefully they'll do something with that. I don't think they will, but hopefully they will. In the fact that Daniel Bryan looks like he may potentially be out a little bit longer than anticipated. At least the next couple of months, if not longer. Bryan may very well... Okay, here's the thing. Bryan since Daniel Bryan's on this show, I can actually say this. Bryan very well may be stripped of the championship tonight on Raw. Now, there's also a direction I could see WWE going, which is kind of outside the box. And that is the fact that Stephanie makes certain divas, every diva in the roster, is paired up with a superstar. And they have matches between the divas with Brie Bella defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship for Daniel Bryan. So Brie has to beat the divas, but if the diva beats Brie, that diva has a superstar attached to them, and that superstar would become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I think that's actually something that would be interesting to do. I know what you're saying, Owen, you're losing your mind, and my response is, after this week, you're probably right. But the thing about it is I think it actually makes a little bit of sense. Why not? Why not Stephanie stick it to Brie with Bryan not being able to defend the championship, why don't you have, because you have Bryan on the show this week, why don't you have there be an announcement that Bryan will have to defend the championship? Bryan's like, I can't defend the championship. And he's like, you're not defending the championship. Bree's defending the championship. And then, obviously, she faces off against a diva who is attached to a superstar, and we run this gamut for a while. Heck, they could even do it at Payback if they really wanted to. Payback, Money in the Bank, Battleground. It's a way to keep the championship on Bryan without him having to defend it, because obviously he doesn't have to defend it. Or it's a possibility they'll just strip him and do some sort of a tournament. Either way, I'm thinking that Daniel Bryan's title reign's about to get really interesting. So we get our next match. It is Sheamus, United States Champion Sheamus, taking on Titus O'Neil. Titus comes out and he says, you know what? You didn't beat anybody. You won a battle royal to win that championship. And you know what? You're tough, but the Divas are tough. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to give you one chance. One last chance to get out of my ring. And of course, the bell sounds. He brogue kicks Titus. And that's the end. So yeah. I really wanted them to push Titus. I think Titus would be actually would have been a good member of Evolution, to be honest, if they really wanted a big muscle guy. But, yeah, they're not going to push Titus, and they're just going to continue this. And Sheamus, obviously, when he turns heel, would end up joining Evolution, so I think that's probably what will end up happening. So we got Byron Saxton in the back, and he is outside the Exotic Express trying to get an interview with Adam Rose. And runs into a lady. She looks familiar, but I can't tell. She says, hey, Adam, Baron Saxton's here. And then all the Rosebuds come out and looking for a cheeseburger. And a guy's dressed up like a cheeseburger. He says, I'm delicious. And all Adam Rose wants is Zebby and Jack to have some fun because they're boring. They're lemons. And, of course, a Happy Lemon guy comes out. Asks Byron if he's a lemon or a rosebud, and everyone is chanting, be a rosebud, be a rosebud, one of us, one of us. They don't say one of us, but you know what I mean, the cult thing's coming in. And they put a clown wig on Byron Saxton, and, of course, they say, it's party time all the time, and that was our Adam Rose segment for the day. I am a rosebud. And I'm proud to say, I hope they do some more with this. And I'm pretty sure they'll do something big tonight on Raw. Because apparently there is going to be something huge for the London crowd. So I'm looking forward to see what happens with the response that Adam Rose gets tonight on Raw. And I'm really curious to see what the response a lot of superstars will get on Raw. I think Wade Barrett is going to be the biggest babyface on this show tonight. That's what I think. Damien Sandow comes out, and he basically throws out an open challenge, ends up getting accepted by Santino. So Sandow puts the boots to him, and repeated knee drops, whip in, charges in, goes shoulder first into the post, allows for the Cobra, 1, 2, 3. Sandow gets on the mic, he's like, aren't I a good little soldier? You. Using terms. And he basically says, oh, the smart guy lost. Oh, he made it look like a fool. And then they cut his mic. So yeah, Damien Sandow's angry young man shtick is continuing. And that angry young man stable I talked about with The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, Zack Ryder, and it looks like Damien Sandow may end up happening sooner rather than later. Obviously, Miz is going to be different when he comes back from his movie filming. Zack Ryder is kind of... I'm happy when Ryder's on television at this point. And, yeah, Damien Sandow looks like he's going to be doing the Angry Young Man steez for a while. It makes sense they're doing this. Our next match is Cesaro against R-Truth. And Truth with a forward roll, quickly in, gets a 2 off of that. Whip in, reverse, tip up, and the high leg lariat gets a 1. Charges in with a clothesline, a boot in the midsection, going for the axe kick, and he gets caught. Pop-up, Swiss Death, neutralizer, dunzo. So Cesaro wins. Our main event ends up being John Cena against Eric Rowan because John Cena looked like he's going to fight Rowan, Harper, and Bray at the same time. And they get up on the ring apron, and here come the Usos to settle the score and to even the odds. So yes, they're going to stay at ringside to keep Bray and Luke Harper at bay. And it all fits because they're all wearing neon green, so they're really hard on the eyes, especially when you just wake up. That's another reason I don't want to do SmackDown recap early, because if I did so, I probably wouldn't be able to, I'd be doing this all the time because of their very bright ring gear. So, Rowan goes mid with the match with a pump handle backbreaker, and Cena goes to the ring apron, and Rowan tries to pull him back into the ring, and he gets caught with a neck snap across the top rope. Cena comes in, charges in, gets caught with a clothesline, gets a 2 off of that, a headbutt, and Rowan mows him over with a huge shoulder tackle. Big splash, Cena's out of the way, and shoulder block, and he gets caught the second time with a huge bear hug, and Cena breaks the grip. He goes side to side into the side slam, gets a 2 off of that. Charges in, Cena gets the elbow up, proto bomb, 5-knuckle shuffle, sets up for the AAA. Rowan lands on his feet and catches Cena with the fall-away slam. Avalanche in the corner, comes off the ropes, a boot to the side, just be a jerk about it. Comes off the ropes, Cena picks the ankle, goes for the STF. Harper gets sent in the ring, and he eats the flying body press for one of the Usos. Samoan suicide dive on Luke Harper to take him out, and basically, Cena walks into an Iron Claw, into an STO, gets a 2 off of that, and he sets up for the pump handle backbreaker yet again, and Cena floats over, lands on his feet, catches Rowan, AA 1, 2, 3, and John Cena wins again. So yes, we continue this, and I'm sure we're going to see something on Raw tonight, something awesome on Raw tonight. So, what would I say about this show? What would I say you check out? The Usos and Goldust and Cody Rhodes. I know the match has been done to death, but it's awesome every time it's done. You know, for what it was, Batista and Dolph Ziggler wasn't bad. Natty and Nikki Bella wasn't bad either. And, yeah, that's about it. Cena and Rowan, if you're a Cena mark. So, even if, it was a short match. It was just I've seen better matches from the two, so yeah. They even had a better match on Raw, actually, and they may have a rematch on Raw, if I had to guess. So that was SmackDown this week. We will talk about London Raw tonight, actually. So, Tuesday's video will be Raw, and like I said, Wednesday and Thursday, who knows, maybe Will and Ben might show up. It's a very possible chance at this point. And more Halloween Horror Nights news is coming very, very soon. So, there's always that. And, like I said, we have NXT TakeOver in a couple weeks, and Payback in a couple of weeks. So, a lot of wrestling content still to come on Pop. Of course, next week, AJ's movie reviews. We're going to be discussing, X-Men Days of Future Past, as well as Blended, and there's a couple other things that are going to be chatted about. We got a really awesome versus this week. A very violent versus, because apparently we do soft, violent. That's pretty much how it's going to work for now. At least till we come up with something else. So, there's that. And a lot of stuff still to come on Pop this week. So, check it out every single day. Content brought to you courtesy of yours truly, AJ, Ben, and Will. And whomever may pop in to surprise us all. So, in the meantime, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, and help spread the word about Pop. If you want to like our Facebook fan page, go right ahead. I'm sure a lot of you already have. And if you haven't, then go right ahead to Facebook and click like Sir Owen Disney Pop. It's very simple. And if you'd like to be old-fashioned on Facebook, send me a friend request. It's Owen Disney. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, you're more than welcome to. It's at Sir Owen Disney. And if you'd like to comment on these videos, or if you'd like to thumbs up these videos, I'd appreciate that as well. And last but certainly not least, you want to send your thoughts, comments, queries, and opinions. You want to talk wrestling with me, Universal, Disney, Halloween Horror Nights, anything under the spectrum. Ask me questions. We'll talk movies, ideas I have for storylines, if you want to talk that. Stuff I don't mention on this channel, then be my guest. And last also than that, if you'd like to be a popcaster yourself, send your videos to sirowendisney@gmail.com. In the meantime, I do want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.